I was thinking about the Soviet Union, and particularly there was three Soviet constitutions within its lifespan until it was dissolved in 1991. The original constitution in 1924 was, of course, to establish a socialist state. It was right after the Russian Civil War, Lenin's death, the Bolshevik Revolution, the October Revolution. So the original constitution of 1924 was to establish a political system for the socialist state and outline how a socialist state would function, begin the framework of establishing a socialist state. While the other two constitutional referendums, the other two constitutions, the 1936 under Stalin and the 1977 constitution under Brezhnev, was an extension of the original constitution, was an extension of the framework of a socialist political system that the 1924 Constitution outlined and established. The 1936 Constitution established and guaranteed the separation of church and state, as well as enshrined some level of freedom of speech and freedom of assembly within the Soviet Union, while the 1977 Constitution was an extension of this further, the freedom of expression for artists, pertaining to socialist realism in the Ministry of Culture, the economic Bill of Rights, like, for example, the right to work, rest, and leisure was enshrined in the Brezhnev Constitution. So you can begin to see the evolution of Soviet society, the evolution of the socialist political system within the Soviet Union, the extension of personal freedoms within the gradual transformation of Russian society into a socialist and eventual communist society. That the Soviet Union's political system was evolving, was becoming more democratic, was becoming more socially free compared to the West. As the West is often known for the personal and social freedoms, the Soviet Union was also gradually pivoting and gradually transitioning into obtaining more personal freedom for its citizens as it evolves. However, because it was a socialist state, the main priority was the economic freedoms, like the right to work, rest, and leisure. So you can begin to see how these social freedoms played into the economic freedoms that were granted from the very inception of the Soviet Union. What the Soviet Union was born out of was to create economic stability for the Russian peasants and the Russian proletariat. So because its prioritization of economic freedoms for the everyday Soviet citizen informed that being established and being achieved is how you can see the gradual personal freedoms beginning to develop without protest or unrest or public pressure. It was from within the political system of the Soviet Union, from the top, which represented the bottom, from its very purpose for existing. So you can start to see how the Soviet Union was a democratic society, and that democratic process within the Soviet Union was gradually evolving on its own, rather than being forced to evolve.